Manchester United draw with West Ham 1-1, one apiece. And although we move into third, although we have a further chance to get top four, more favoured chance of top four, I'm sorry, but I am not happy with this performance. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a Manchester United versus West Ham 1-1 match reaction, and I'm genuinely not happy with this. I understand the result is not the worst in the world. In fact, it's probably going to be a very crucial point. But come on, man. The way that we performed was unacceptable on any level. So before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on, share the video and the playlist, and let me know in the comments below if you thought this performance was acceptable for a Manchester United team. A team that's trying to fight for top four, a team that's trying to qualify for the Champions League, a team where we are miles and leaps ahead of West Ham in terms of quality, in terms of structure, and in terms of players, yet we can't get the job done. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to say is that second half was absolutely piss poor dreadful. Yes, we got the goal, but we did nothing. We did absolutely nothing. A team like West Ham that parks the bus, and they parked the bus. They parked the bus hard, especially in the last 10 minutes, but they did nothing. West Ham did nothing, but the sad thing is they did more than us. We did piss poor in that game. One very, very world-class quality turn of events from both Mason Greenwood and Martial led to a goal that we probably didn't even deserve. And they just go and absolutely dominate the game from start to finish. Players like Declan Rice and the entire midfield, Bowen on the wings, absolutely crushing what was left of our so-called team that we did not play like a team. We didn't. We were so divided today. It was sad. Like, I was genuinely sad watching this game thinking, wow, to think that we could be in the top four, to think that we could have easily been in the top four if we won this game, only had to get a draw against Leicester, to the point where you think to yourself, if we can't beat West Ham when they play like that and when we play like that, how the hell are we going to beat Leicester? How are we going to beat Leicester with the way that we've shown that we've played over the past two games? But this game especially, because at least Chelsea did something going forward. West Ham did sod all, nothing, zilch. I just don't get it. I don't get how Manchester United, a team that is supposed to be attacking football, pressing all the way, just lets them take possession and have a kick-to-kick in the back line for half an hour. A few set pieces here and there for West Ham, and they're dangerous at them, but we just let it happen, man. We had no fight tonight, which is exactly what I called for. We had no fight, absolutely none. The first half, you could say maybe there's just a little bit of fight. We were the better team in the first half. Second half, no fight, no passion. There was literally nothing to go into that performance in the second half and give us any confidence for Leicester. I'm more concerned about Leicester than I've ever been with any other game in my life now. It's as simple as that. I cannot say with a full heart that we are going to beat Leicester over the weekend, because they've shown us that they can seriously mess up a game. They can seriously, through one mistake, can make the entire game obsolete. And it's stupid, but of course, people are going to be what they are. People are going to say what they want to say. Obviously, positivity is going to run wild with this result because we're in the top three now. We are third. Congratulations, we are third. Now we have to rely on other teams like Chelsea to lose games, and we have to rely on Leicester not showing up against us. In the end, we could have done this by our own stature, by our own desire, by our own results. And in the end, once again, we are leaving it to other teams to do their bidding for us. We're relying on teams like Liverpool to go and bail us out. We're relying on teams like Spurs, who in the end did bail us out, but we have to rely on them. We can't do it by ourselves. What does that say as a team when we have to rely on other teams losing for us to get it instead of us going and winning games for us to get it? That doesn't show improvement. I know we have improved. I'm not saying we haven't, but to say that we're by any means necessary that we get into the top four, it's stupid. It's not right. We needed to win this game. We definitely needed to win this game. And once again, yes, a draw is not bad. But now we have to face the fact if Chelsea win this game, I know, as crazy as it sounds, they can still win this game. If they win this game, guess what? top 4 becomes so much more harder because then it's a must-win situation. In the end, we have to rely on Chelsea to slip up. That's the only way I see us doing it, because I can't promise that we will beat Leicester next week. So we have to have Chelsea slip up on both occasions. That's the only way I can see this going. I don't know what to think anymore with this performance. It doesn't give me any confidence. Now, there were some good players today. Of course there were. There were some good players, but for the majority, we're still slow. We're still so slow. I could say Matic was probably the man of the match today. I probably could say that. And in the end, I might be wrong or right. It doesn't really matter to me. But at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, the amount of time where we had a chance to go and attack them, a chance to go on a fast break, a chance to actually try and make them work instead of them just sitting in their block of 11 and hoping that we can pass our way through them. We're not Man City. We don't have that type of plays in our textbook to go and actually pass out from a team that's parking the bus. We are not that team. So we should not be playing like a Man City should be playing. We need to be united. We need to be the wingers crossing into the box. We need to get everybody in the box. I'm sick and tired of this side-to-side football, which we've seen a lot of in this part. Even though when we're winning games and it's all fine, it's all good. Yeah, we started slow. We always play side-to-side football. It's not like we're full going at them. We're just not doing that anymore. I don't know what to say. Look, I don't want to completely rant because it's at the end of the day, we didn't lose the game. But if anybody's telling me that this performance was acceptable for a Manchester United team, then I will rant as much as I want. Because in the end, I look at that performance, I look at that second half, I look at how our so-called team is supposed to react to a loss against Chelsea in dominating fashion. We basically just stood there and allowed them to get the ball. We stood there and we accepted a draw. Where was the fight within the only fight I saw was in the last 5 minutes of the game when we basically had nothing left to lose. It's either we lose or we win. And in the end, we did neither. So going into the player ratings, I don't know. I seriously don't know how I'm going to judge this, but we've got a lot of work to do. That's all I can say, man. And I say it every week, but my goodness, it's like going 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. It feels like we're not getting anywhere. It feels like we're not getting anywhere. As soon as we have a positive run of form and we get this close to the top 4, we revert back to old ways and then we end up falling out once again. We end up having to rely on other teams instead of us going and get it, man. That's what pisses me off the most. We could have went and got this and made it comfortable for us, made it completely and utterly guaranteed. But now we have to rely on other teams, and it's not what I want to be. I don't want to be like, just imagine falling second to something like that. Remember in 2013 when we had to rely on Man City to lose in the Premier League? And they didn't lose. And in the end, I don't want to be that team that has to rely on someone else. I want to be the team that actually goes and gets it for themselves rather than having another team slip up for us to go and get it. It's not right. But either way, going into the player ratings, I'm done for now. David De Gea. I thought David De Gea was great today. I thought he was absolutely amazing. And many people, in my opinion, I think David De Gea is very close to man of the match for me. Fantastic saves, acrobatic saves. But in the end, he didn't have a lot to do. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Honestly, I think that's a great bounce back from a terrible game against Chelsea that he had. He kept us in the game. So there's some good shots on there that David De Gea saved. But in the end, when you don't have much to do, you can't simply just get man of the match. I know that's what the olden days used to be for Manchester United back in the days when all we had was David De Gea. But now we have players that can perform at least once, and he doesn't get man of the match very often. And I'm not going to give it to him here because honestly, West Ham didn't attack much at all, really. So yeah, going into the right back position with Timothy Fosu Mensah, I thought he was all right. Again, I feel like he's a little bit better on the ball than Wan-Bissaka, but it's offensively wise, they're both not great. Fosu Mensah's offside way too many times. We had one good cross, but he was offside. Again, not really presenting much defensively. He's not better than Wan-Bissaka. I think 6 is going to be the result I give for Timothy Fosu Mensah. I really appreciate him covering for players that are tired. Of course, Wan-Bissaka had to come on at halftime. I'm not sure what that's all about. Hopefully, Timothy Fosu Mensah will be all right. I don't know the situation there. Don't really listen to the commentators when they spoke about it. So hopefully, it's just one of those things where we needed to put our best player on to ensure that we go and win the game. And hopefully that's the reason. Hopefully that's the reason. Going into the centre-back pairing of Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, I would give these two both 6s just because they did not have anything to do. Now, I'm tempted to give Harry Maguire a 7. Victor Lindelof, in the end, I didn't notice him much, which is, that's what you want out of a centre-back. I don't want to notice my centre-back that much. If that just shows that in the end, well, they parked the bus, so that doesn't mean anything. But not noticing your centre-back is probably the best compliment because it means that your team's playing well. But this time, it's because they parked the bus and they got on the counter-attack. Now, with Harry Maguire, he had a very crucial couple of plays with Bowman running at Brandon Williams, and the poor left-back was being targeted the whole game. But Harry Maguire really helped him out, and so did Nemanja Matic. So I feel like giving Harry Maguire a little bit higher. So maybe I go Harry Maguire 6.5 and Victor Lindelof 6. But these two players did not deserve to get a 7 or above, in my opinion. I just don't see what they actually did to deserve that. There weren't much in the game. Harry Maguire plays a few good passes, overhead passes to Rashford and Brandon Williams. But besides that, it doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest. Going into the left-back position, Brandon Williams, I'm sorry, man. I don't want to go too deep on what Brandon Williams' performance was today. He was targeted a lot, so he had a lot to do. Defensively, he was okay, but he got skinned a lot of times by Bowman and Antonio. He ended up nearly conceding a penalty. He got tripped up a couple of times. And attacking-wise, besides one good cross, he did not do much at all. So I think I'm going to have to give him a 5.5. I don't really think he was good, to be honest. I just feel like they targeted him. And the reason why they targeted him is because they know that he's probably lacking confidence. As a 19-year-old kid, when you have a bad performance, your confidence will not always be there. And some players, it takes a lot of games to build up that confidence once you have one bad game. That's the whole point of ensuring that the youth is well protected and they don't play as much as Brandon Williams probably will be playing for the rest of the season. But the one thing I do completely agree with is that Brandon Williams is a risk taker. And he takes the risks necessary to be a fullback. However, again, I just think he needs to work on a little bit on his composure because I feel like he's so heated, ready to get into a tackle that a lot of the times he got skinned from doing that. Bowman, a lot of times, I don't know if that's his actual name. I'm pretty sure his name is Bowman. I'm not sure, but too many times he actually played Brandon Williams and forced Brandon Williams to make a tackle and beat him for pace afterwards. I saw that at least 3 times where he had to take off. He had to ensure that the ball was there to be won and then keep the ball. Very good at protecting the ball, but Brandon Williams was forced to make tackles that he probably shouldn't have needed to do. And I thought it was good to see Harry Maguire and Matic help him out in circumstances like that when he probably wasn't in the best position. So yeah, look, I don't know what other people are going to give Brandon Williams. I still think he's a tremendous young left back, and I still think he might be the left back of our future. And I think maybe it's he needs to bring his best against Leicester. Otherwise, we might have that same issue happening where they're going to target him. And I think Leicester's wingers are probably more threatening than West Ham's, to be honest, because West Ham, they didn't really do much. Going into the CDM position, Nemanja Matic, in my opinion, Nemanja Matic could potentially be the man of the match again. Now, I don't really want to give a man of the match to anybody because, to be honest, I don't think really anybody as a team really showed up well. But I'm going to give Nemanja Matic a 7 out of 10. Same with David De Gea, really pretty much. I think they both deserve 7s. But Yeah, I think I might just give Matic man of the match once again. Matic for me was the same old, Mr. Consistent. He was very consistent today. He did his job very, very well. He got the ball from back to front extremely well. He intercepted plays. He helped, again, Brandon Williams when Brandon Williams looked a little bit targeted, maybe a little bit tired. He helped out, and that's really good to see. And he did everything that it was needed to do. I bet you the instructions were to help Brandon Williams, and that's exactly what he did. So I can't say that he had a bad game. I really think, again, it's one of those situations where if anybody had a reason to walk off that pitch satisfied, it'd be Nemanja Matic for me. Yeah. I know we scored a goal, and maybe those two players deserve a little bit of credit, the two people involved with the goal, but I feel like that goal came out of nowhere, to be honest, and it's not like they had a great game besides that. So going into the midfield position, Paul Pogba. Now, honestly, I thought Paul Pogba had a decent game, but making a mistake like that in a game like this is solely responsible for a 5 out of 10. I'm sorry, like, I love Paul Pogba, and I genuinely thought he had a good game, especially in the first half. That first half performance was one of the best that we've seen out of him. But you need to think really, really hardly, man, because that penalty that was given to West Ham, in my eyes, it's a reaction, really. Like, he just basically put his hands up like this to stop the ball from hitting his face. But you didn't see any other player that was behind Paul Pogba doing that. It was only Paul Pogba. And in the end, reaction or not, that's a costly mistake. And maybe it's the brain movement. Of course, he doesn't want to get hit in the head, bro, especially with a power shot like that from Declan Rice. But you need to just take that on the chin, man. That was so far out that you should have seen it coming, man. And he didn't. And it hit him in the hands. And it's an easy penalty. I don't even know why VAR had to look at it. It was a very easy penalty to give. I'm happy he didn't get booked, because in the end the guy was just protecting himself. So I'm happy he didn't get booked. But yeah, look, it's a very bad mistake. And then in the second half, he didn't do much to rectify that mistake. If anything, Greenwood saves. That's probably gonna be the title of this video. Greenwood saved Pogba out of a mistake, out of his mistake. So 5 out of 10 for me. Overall, if he didn't make that mistake, I think I would have given him a 6.5, maybe a 6. But the mistake is costly, and we got a draw based on that mistake, and that could definitely change the season. One mistake could change the season for us now, because we didn't go and get this win. So Bruno Fernandes for me now. I'm really tempted to give Bruno a low score. Like, really, really tempted to give Bruno. Like, I'm thinking 4 to 5, man. Like, I don't think Bruno was all that great at all today. And again, it's a risky business playing as a cam as for Manchester United. It's all about risks. But so many of his passes, especially ones you expect him to make, were just not on target, man. None of them. You expect in situations where he's up, he had the opportunity to go and shoot, his touch gets into the way. When he actually has a chance to run at a defender, he slips. The pass he gets to release Rashford out of bounds. Like, I feel like he expects better from himself, and you could tell from his reaction, like, the guy was screaming at himself. So I know he thinks he didn't have a good game, and I didn't think he had a good game. So was he the worst player on the pitch? Arguably, besides maybe Brandon Williams, I really think Bruno is one of the worst players on the pitch today. So I think I have to give him a 5. I have to give him a 5. At least he was lively. He made an impact in ways where his presence was known. They were still very fearful of him. But in the end, West Ham parking the bus really didn't help Bruno Fernandes and his game today. I think Bruno is a much better player when the ball is open, when the game is open. He can freely go and run at defenders and make passes, make plays. And yeah, today just wasn't his day. He was technically part of the goal. He was the one that passed it to Mason Greenwood, which again led to the Martial and Greenwood dynamic goal. But I don't think if anybody thought Bruno had a good game, I want to know why. Because I'm not opposed to saying he had a good game, but I just want to see what you guys are seeing. Because maybe there's something that I'm missing. Maybe there's something that's blocking my mind, and I just thought he wasn't great today. So there you go. Mason Greenwood, you have to give Mason Greenwood a 6, 6.5. Maybe for some people it's a 7 because it's a beautiful finish. But besides that, he was not lively in the game at all, and that goal came out of nowhere. And that's exactly... See, in the match preview, and I really suggest you guys watch the match previews before the match reactions. In the match previews, I said all it takes is one. All it takes is one opportunity, whether he's in the game or not. All it takes is one opportunity, and Mason Greenwood can make the difference. And that's exactly what happened. All it took was one opportunity, a goal, which is basically really all we actually had that was in the box. It took he took his only opportunity on goal, and he scored the goal. And that really, really saved us, because we could have been fifth tonight. We really could have been fifth tonight. And I honestly, going into the second half and watching how we started, I really thought we were going to lose the game. But Mason Greenwood saves us. So... in the end, I think he was I think he was all right. I think he was okay. He was good, and I think 6.5. I don't think he was a 7 out of 10. I know he got the goal, but besides that, didn't do much in a game like that. I'm just really happy he took his opportunity. Martial probably gets a 6 for me. I know he was very, very important for that goal. Yeah, but. He, again, not really relevant in the game, didn't really do much, turned the ball over a few times. And I feel like the midfield really makes an impact on this forward line, because I felt like hardly anybody in our actual forward line got the ball. I feel like it was mainly the wingers and Rashford and Greenwood, but they didn't get it in very good positions. But Martial didn't get the ball at all, and he was the main number 9. Why is that? Is that because... He's making the wrong runs? Is that because he's not playing centrally all the time? Is that because of the interchangeability? I don't know. But in my eyes, we need to give Martial the ball, because I feel like he's the one that will create the most with the ball. And he just, for me, he didn't seem like he got it all that much. And when he did, he didn't do much with it. So 6 out of 10 is fair because of the assist. And Marcus Rashford, I thought Marcus Rashford didn't have a great game either. It is a draw, so I can give him a 6, and I think people will be okay with that. But I'm going to give him a 5, because I know Marcus Rashford is better than what he showed today. Again, not really relevant in the game. Turned the ball over a few times. He had one good ball to Bruno that Bruno really needed to finish, man. Really needed to finish. But besides that, you didn't see much of Marcus Rashford today. And that's the scary part, because these players can seriously... really play poorly when they set their minds to it, man. When there's a goal to be had and there's an opportunity that's at stake for Manchester United, we just struggle under pressure. We need... I know Bruno is a leader, and we need more leaders. I really do. I don't think Harry Maguire is the perfect leader at the moment, because I feel like he's been one of the worst of performances. I think we need an ultimate quality player that's the leader of this club, and that doesn't necessarily mean Bruno Fernandes. I'm not saying give the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes, because in the end, he doesn't. I don't think Bruno deserves the captaincy yet either, because he's not been great. He hasn't been great the past few games, and why should we give the captaincy to a player that hasn't been performing so well? I know he gets the stats, but overall, the past, I would say 4 games, at least 4 games, he has not been lively at all. So deep down, you can think what you want. I feel like we need more leaders around this club that are actually going to fight when things don't go their way. And I saw no fight today. I saw one unexpected goal. Then I saw West Ham dominate the second half. And you don't want to see that as a Manchester United fan. I'm not happy with this result. I know this result gets us 3rd. I know Chelsea will most likely lose to Liverpool. But anything can happen, man. Football, at the end of the day, is a funny sport, and sometimes when a team wants it badly enough, there could be any team that they want to get it. And if we're relying on Chelsea to lose to Liverpool, then we are going to be the ones that will end up just looking like idiots if they don't. I can't sit here and say that now I have to watch the Chelsea and Liverpool game and pray that they lose, or I have to go watch the Man United Leicester game and pray that we can get a result over Leicester. I truly don't think we're going to beat Leicester like this. I just don't... I don't see how, if we can't beat West Ham, who, as good as they played defensively, were not great everywhere else, how are we going to beat Leicester, who will probably do the same thing to us? The exact same thing. They'll play the counter-attack. Leicester played the counter-attack for nearly 4-5 years now, probably even longer than that. And they've had success doing it. So how is this going to be any different to the Leicester game? I just don't see this going well for us. So I'm going to have to going to have to rely on teams like Liverpool to win and Wolves to win. I'm going to have to rely on Man United to get a draw against Leicester. I'm going to have to rely on these things that I don't want to rely on. And if, for whatever reason, we fall out of the top 4, this game right here is going to be the reason why. And we will look back at this game as one of the worst possible results. But for now, the top 4's in the balance. Ollie's performance... Ollie's lineup pick was spot on, really. Besides the Fosu Mensah one, that was a bit sketchy. I think everything else was pretty bang on. There's not really much else you could have picked. So you get an 8 out of 10 for the Ollie's prediction, Ollie's lineup. The team performance was just a 6, man. It's just a 6. It's not great, is it? It's just not what you want. Yeah, look, I'm not happy. We'll go to the bench. Wan-Bissaka, for my opinion, Wan-Bissaka gets a 7. I thought Wan-Bissaka, as soon as he came on, was the Wan-Bissaka of old. He done his tackles. He got forward, played a few crosses in, and he gave us at least an option at the right back position that moved forward. I'm not saying Fosu Mensah didn't, but I feel like the ball actually got to Wan-Bissaka, whereas Fosu Mensah made all these runs and no one got the ball to him. So... I can't remember all the subs. I feel like the only other sub was Agallo. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Agallo had a good shot on goal. Besides that, didn't do much. As he could have scored a goal, and within the first minute he came on. He gets a 6. If there is another one, I'll put it in the description about all the match ratings. I give my numbers from De Gea to the bench in the description. If you guys do not want to watch the whole video, I can understand that. It's already 26 minutes long. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'm sorry, like, if you're expecting a positive video today because we're third, you need to think again. This was not a good performance and it wasn't a good result. And I really think if we don't make top 4, this is the reason why. With Southampton as well, but this game right here against a relegation side that now is survived, which could have survived next week, but they now survived because we let them. And we have to sit back and we have to accept our fate is within other teams' hands now. And that's not what I want from this club. I want much better than what I saw today. I hope Leicester is just going to be an absolute domination from Man United. Otherwise, we're done out here. Take care and peace.